Welcome to Infinity Capital, everyone. My name is Raj. Today we are going to discuss Shanti Gears Limited. So I'm going to take you first through the history of the company. This is the credit rating report of the company, the latest one. So this business was formed as a gear manufacturer for the textile industry in 1969, and then they diversified into manufacturing standard off-the-shelf customized gears over the years. So they are catering to the steel, power, earth moving, cement, railways, defense and textile industry. So these are the industries for which they design and manufacture gearboxes. And these are the type of gearboxes, loose gears, worm gearboxes, so on and so forth, all types of gearboxes. Interesting thing is most of these sectors that they cater to are highly cyclical: steel, power, cement, railways. So why am I looking at this company now? Couple of reasons. Steel, as you may have noticed, that steel companies are doing pretty well right now. Power companies have been breaking their all-time highs. So is the case for steel companies. So we are probably looking at a multi-year cycle in steel, right? A lot of cement companies have broken out, posting new highs, as well as cement companies have posted the highest sales and profits in the past decade, right? Railways, it's an ongoing process because we have such a huge network, and I think in the last budget the government said that they are going to be spending 1,25,000 crores on rehauling the complete railway setup in India. So that is going to be probably in the next 7, 8, 10 years. Okay. Defense is another thing. I won't bank much on this because it's a B2G business to government, and then the pricing is not that great. The payments don't come on time. So yeah, textiles is a semi-cyclical business. So the reason to look at this right now is that my guess is that we will see a huge capex cycle in corporate India. We haven't seen much capex happening in the past so many years. So looking at the fact that we have money available pretty cheap right now, interest rates are low, cost of capital has gone down. That would in turn excite entrepreneurs to put up capacities. So that is the reason, that is the fundamental reason why I started looking at this company. There are other reasons as well, right? So they have a foundry as well as their manufacturing capacities around Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu. Company was formed in 1969. Later the Murugappa Group, Tube Investments Limited, they bought over the complete stake from the earlier promoter. And now Murugappa Groups own 70% of this company. So quickly let's look at the shareholding pattern also. So this 70% is held by Murugappa Group. Out of this 30%, there are some marquee investors in here. There are around 4.73% of foreign portfolio investors, right? And then you have insurance companies. Almost a percent is owned by insurance companies, right? So 20% is owned by public retail, and then there are these individual investors, corporate bodies, and so on and so forth. So overall, the shareholding pattern looks pretty good, in my opinion, right? Let's go through the credit rating, find out more information about the company. So they have around 31 crores of credit in terms of short-term interchangeable, long-term non-fund based stuff, long-term fund based cash credit. There are multiple types of credit that you can take. You have foreign borrowings, you have commercial paper, you have bank ODs and stuff. So most of their credit is has been given very good credit rating, AA, A plus. Looks pretty good, right? What else can we find out? So they have around 27.7 crores of tax-free bond investments and around liquid investments of 75 crores. So that is pretty good for a company which has a 1400 crore of market cap. So having around this number. So if we add 74 to 27, roughly around 100 crores, that's pretty good. So it's a pretty small company. It does only 250 crores of sales on a year-on-year basis, right? So it's, in my opinion, this is a market cap. So we have to look at it from a very different perspective. I'm not going to put 10% of my capital in this, going to take a small position. But overall, the reason to look at this company, is that I'm expecting a lot of companies are doing capex. If you look at a lot of API, pharma companies, chemical companies are doing capex. So owing to this capex, plus the cement companies are posting all-time highs in terms of their profits and sales. We can look at companies like this right now. So what are the strengths of this company? Obviously, one of the strengths is it's owned by the Murugappa Group. So that kind of parentage gives it that sort of strength in terms of liquidity whenever they want money, that way. And they have a decent amount of cash, as we saw earlier on their books, approximately 105 crores of cash on the books, which can help them in terms of capex if they want to do. Right, they have an order book of around 225 crores, so that's the kind of visibility you're looking at. Last year they had 155 crores of order book. So when we come here, so last year they did 216 crores. So this year they have 225 crores of order book. So from a order book visibility of 155 crores. So if we come here, it says previous year 155. So from an order book visibility of 155 crores, they ended up doing 240 crores, right? So on an order book visibility of 225 crores, we can expect 270, 300 crores of sales by the end of this year. So if they are doing 230 crores of sales, and if we say, let's say that, 270 to 300 crores of sale, and let's say that they have the same margins, so they'll probably end up making around 45 crores, 40 to 45 crores. So they currently trailing 12 months profits are around 32 crores. So that is still 15 crores higher than what they are doing right now, right? So that is roughly 50 to 60% higher. So we can see some good traction coming into this stock into the next 2 to 3 quarters. So that's how I make my, I try to find what are the strong positives and how many positives are there in a stock, and then I try and take a position. Remember guys, I'm going to keep this stock for the next 2-3 quarters at max. So I'm not going to go in depth, study all the annual reports. I only do that with stocks which I intend to keep for more than 1-2 years. So if I'm only intending to keep the stock for 6 months or so, I don't generally go read annual reports of the past 10 years. But it's a healthy way to find out, more about the company. So what I tend to do is I keep reading about the company's news, their disclosures. So that keeps on giving me more information about the company. What are the challenges? So moderate scale of operations, a small scale of operations, right? And obviously close linkage to capex cycles, obviously, because the industries that they are catering to are hugely cyclical in nature. Margin problems because their input raw material is steel components, and it takes some time, to make these gears and gearboxes. So there is a lag, in terms of passing on the price to their customers, right? But eventually they are able to do it. That is the reason why you will see that their margins are not stable. In 2010 to 2014 they were making great margins, but we are not going to go that much back in time. But if we look at the past 5 years, they have a good margin, operating profit margin of for 17%. Obviously this dip has happened because steel prices have gone up since last year, but if you see the trailing 12-month margins are back to 17%, right? So looks pretty good. Another thing is When we come here on Tijori, we find out their 5-year average margin is 12%, 3-year average margin is 11% net profit margin. So currently they have margins of 9.3. So we have around 20% upside in margins. You know, we can see 20% upside in margins. They've been having 5-year ROC of 12 to 13%. So, you know, we can see some improvement in the ROCE as well, right? Apart from that, that's about it. That's all we could gather from the credit rating. Let's come to the investor section, and if we see, there are FIIs in here. As a matter of fact, they've increased their allocation by 1.5% since December last year. That looks good. DIIs have shaved off, you know, their holdings. So this is from 4% they've come to 1, and from 3 they've come to 5. So basically this just went here. DIIs stake went to FIIs, and then a little bit out in the public. Okay, cash flow, they've been generating positive cash flow from operations. That looks pretty good. The balance sheet front, there is absolutely no dilution of equity. They have around 47 crores of investments, you know, roughly around 3 crores of cash on the balance sheet. So pretty good, right? They've taken some sort of capex. If you see, gross block has increased from 100 to 143 crores, right? Profit and loss basis, if you see, pre-COVID, their sales were accelerating at a very good pace, although their margins were going down. But if you see, their profit was going up. That was pretty good. Now, as a matter of fact, even last year their profitability didn't dip, but 2021 they saw some dip in sales, and now they are back on track. So if you see, the trailing 12-month sales is already higher than the past 3-4 years. So that is one reason why I'm looking at the company. Their trailing 12-month margins are higher, right? It is back to pre-COVID levels, and if we look at the profitability, it is back to the pre-COVID profitability in 2019. Now, interesting thing is, guys, from 2017 to 2021, trailing 12 months, their sales have gone up by roughly 20 and 70 crores, right? So sales have gone up by around 50%, and their profit is basically up by 9 crores. So that is also gone up by 40%. However, if you look at the stock has pretty much not gone anywhere, you know, since 15, right? So that is one thing that one needs to take into account, that if we see accelerating earnings and sales in this stock, you can see some good momentum coming into this stock. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, if you'll see that there is a clear momentum. Since December sales were higher, December profits were higher too. Then March sales were higher, March profits were higher too, and June sales are higher and June profits are higher. Again, June is an aberration because last year we had a complete lockdown. However, if we look here, the margins have become better as compared to March and December. Sequentially the sales dipped a little bit, but that's all right, because again, March to June there was a lockdown, right? So this is all right. However, if the margins are much better over here, so that is good. I like this. Overall, there is clear traction since the past 3 quarters, and I like to see 3 quarters of traction in terms of acceleration in sales and earnings. So it comes on my radar on the second quarter, and then on the third quarter I take a position. Let's look at the PE ratio. So the median PE is around 42, which is pretty high actually. Current PE is around 43.7 for a company which is only 1400 crores and does 17% of margin. The PE is pretty high. However, you know, I don't pay a lot of attention to PE in the short term. So, you know, I'll just keep that in mind, that the PE is high and when I'm taking a position. Now let's do a technical analysis on the company. We are looking at the monthly chart, and if you see, the stock is trading near its basically Jan 15 high. Okay, in 2018, 17 it went close to that high and then it broke down. Okay, so if we see that the stock is pretty much trading in the range of 76 to 180 since the past 6 years now. Now the stock is trying to break out, obviously, because there is clear traction in terms of profitability and sales also. So if we come here and if we click on the profit and loss, if we see company has registered highest sales ever, margins are now stabilizing, and it is pretty close to highest profits also. That is the reason why the stock is also trading near its all-time high. Okay, so this is it from the monthly chart. On the left hand side, where we have the moving averages, 200 days trending upwards, 50 days trending upwards, looks pretty good from a trend perspective. On a week on week basis, we had this selling happening in the mid cap small cap space. That is the reason this stock has corrected. So what is the entry point? What sort of strategy am I looking at? So currently the stock has basically corrected around 22% from its all-time high. Okay, and now basically it's going sideways. So I will wait for this stock to consolidate in this area and then I will take a position. So what I will be looking at is, if the stock comes into this zone 140 and 170, I will start accumulating the stock. My guess is that the mid cap and small cap index are going to breathe for a while and digest the sell-off. If the sell-off doesn't become more bad and then the indexes sell off further, if that doesn't happen, I will be looking to accumulate the stock between 140 and 170. That will be my strategy. What is the holding period? At least 2 quarters. We'll see. We have 3 quarters of acceleration, and fundamentally we are seeing steel prices, cement prices going higher, highest profitability in these companies, which means that we'll see a new cycle of capex. So I'm going to hold it for 2 quarters, and if there is accelerated earnings and profits, highly likely that the stock will make new highs as well. So overall, it's this is what I found out in this company. Quick disclaimer, guys, this is not a buy sell recommendation, it's an educational video. Thanks a lot for watching.